Scottish Government Minister MichaeI Matheson tried to par on his £11,000 roaming bill for his iPad to Scottish taxpayers, and SNP boss Humza Yousaf backed him, writes Stuart Crawford. I have been writing about the imminent collapse of the SNP government in Scotland for a good few months now, but I didn't expect the party and its hapless leader Humza Yousaf to continue to contribute to its and his own demise quite so enthusiastic. And yet that's just what we're witnessing as we look on slack-jawed at the First Minister's inept and rapidly failing administration north of the border. The bad news just keeps on. The latest is the growing scandal over Scottish Government Minister MichaeI Matheson's £11,000 roaming bill for his iPad, which he tried to pass on to Scottish taxpayers via his parliamentary expenses. It appears that Matheson ran up the huge bill whilst using his government-supplied device when he was on a week's holiday in Morocco. On one day alone, January 2nd, he ran up more than £8,000 worth of roaming charges. Having originally claimed it back on expenses, he was caught out, and has reluctantly agreed to refund the money, but only after having his arm twisted up his back. Nobody knew for sure what he was doing on his iPad to run up such a bill, but the rumours are rife. The kindest is that, as a fan of Celtic Football Club, he incurred much of it watching Celtic, Hibernian and Celtic, Rangers matches on December 28 and January 2 this year. That latter day, just to be clear, was a public holiday in Scotland when no parliamentary business took place. Others, of course, have suggested other less savoury viewing may have taken place, but that remains conjecture. He is steadily refusing to submit the iPad to the parliamentary IT department for scrutiny, which just adds fuel to the fire. Now the Conservatives are threatening a vote of no confidence against him unless he comes. Typically, hapless First Minister Humza Yousaf initially supported Matheson, declaring that his enormous costs were legitimate expenses, but has now shifted his view to an honest mistake, as his minister bobs and weaves under increasing questioning in the media. It was only a matter of time, one felt, before Yousaf blamed the whole affair on Westminster, the default setting for all SNP rebuttals. And now Matheson has just made a statement in the Scottish Parliament, in which he has basically reneged on his previous assurances to Parliament and media that his iPad was used only for parliamentary purposes. He has now stated that his device was used by members of his family to watch football matches, presumably when Celtic were playing in the Scottish Premier League, as he is a fan of that particular team. 2 such matches took place during his family holiday as previously mentioned, and the majority of the data usage records correspond to these matches. Is he telling the truth, or has he thrown his family under a bus to save his skin? I don't know, but he does. As Conservative leader Douglas Ross said during the questioning aloud after Matheson's statement, the minister falsely claimed the money on expenses. In response, Matheson said he acted as a father to protect his family, as he did not want them exposed to the media scrutiny. From all of this, it is clear that Matheson has been economical with the actualite, as Alan Clark might have put it, and has admitted his falsehood. As for the possibility that he may be guilty of attempted fraud, we'll have to leave that to the good offices of Police Alba. I'd advise you not to hold your. It really is high time now that hopeless Humza put on his big boy trousers and sorted this one out. It is just one more scandal which damages his already fatally wounded administration. He has to sack his minister or go down with him, as he surely will. And, astonishingly, Yousaf has just called for a general election straight away after David Cameron's return to the Westminster cabinet. I don't think you'll find a better example of the turkeys voting for Xmas anywhere. As one Scottish political commentator put it succinctly, if political journalists should be pursuing straight answers from a cabinet minister, of any stripe, about an £11,000 charge to taxpayers that the minister only decided to pay back 11 months after it happened, and only after it was made public, then we may as well, here, say I. Matheson now has the choice of retiring to the backbenchers with a smidgen of his dignity and self-respect still intact, or wait until he's handed his P45 in due course. There's no way he can remain in post.